Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Kindly bear with me, there is a lot of noise in the background. Some of my neighbors have got a function and that is why we have a lot of noise. Bear with me because of that hiccup. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a story that featured in one of the dailies. It is about the Kenya Defense Forces and specifically about the Chief of General Staff General Francis Ogolla and William Samoei Ruto. You will understand that towards the general election last year, there was bad blood between the former President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy then, William Samoei Ruto. And they were reading from different pages. As Uhuru Kenyatta was preparing for his succession politics, he did certain arrangements, and one of them was to promote two lieutenant generals. The General Francis Ogolla, who was then the Lieutenant General, and the other Lieutenant General was Mbadi, the man who was manning the Nairobi Metropolitan City. And they were placed strategically. Many experts believe that for Ogolla, he was placed to usher in Raila Amolo Odinga in case Raila became the president. And as Uhuru Kenyatta was doing all this, William Ruto had other plans. He went and negotiated for power with the Western countries, the UK and the United States of America. Unknown to Uhuru Kenyatta, William Ruto had got his own arrangements that were very contrary to Uhuru's. After the elections, the controversy got itself in the Supreme Court. And one of the accusations that came in was that General Francis Ogolla led a group of Kenyans, senior Kenyans, to go and compel Wafula Chubukati to deny William Ruto a win, to deny the Kenyan people their will. That is what William Ruto and the entire Kenya Kwanza Brigade said.
Mtu anaitwa Ogolla. Mtu anaitwa Ogolla. Nashangaa ile tunaheshimu jeshi yetu. Wanakuanga na heshima kubwa sana Kenya na discipline. Hawapendangi indiscipline katika jeshi. Sijui mbona Ogolla baada ya kazi mpaka leo. Na tuko na watu wengi tutasema kila siku. Hata kuna huyo mwingine wa AP alikuwa anajifanya yeye ndiye anasimamia hapo maneno ya usalama hapo Bomas. Na ndiye alikuwa kateli mkubwa, mkora mkubwa, alikuwa anataka kuleta kumwaga damu hii Kenya. Na nyinyi jeshi mtuambie, wenye wanasimamia jeshi, huyo Ogolla baada ya kazi kwa nini? Yaani alitembea na mguu yake mwenyewe akaenda Bomas. Akaenda akaongea, aliongea. Akajaribu kufanya alikuwa anajaribu kufanya. Lakini Mungu anapenda Kenya sana, that's why alikataa na akasema lazima tutoe Kenya kwa minyororo ya wakora.
And to the president as the commander-in-chief,
General Ogolla is among the people who went to Bomas to try and overturn my victory. Do you know that? But because when I looked at his CV, he was the best person to be general.
Kenyans discuss this issue so many times, but because they don't know how things happen within the KDF. The president is the commander-in-chief. He's advised by the Defense Council. After the advice, he's free to make his mind and choose whom he thinks is the best candidate for this job. But wherever we go on orders. We don't just stand up and go, we go on orders. And General Ogolla, going there, went on orders. He didn't go as his private capacity, he went on orders. And I'll assure you, in fact, I'm so impressed with the president for the appointment of General Ogolla. Tell me one time, in the Kenya Defense Forces, with this change of command, and we have a new commander-in-chief, we change our loyalty 100%.
And with that, after William Ruto was declared the winner, and he took out of office a few months down the line after he took out of office, General Kibochi retired because his tenure was extended because we were approaching an election. There was no way there was going to be a handover from one soldier to the other because the constitution allowed that when we are facing a crisis like our elections was pointing to be a crisis, the constitution allows that the president extends the tenure of CDF. So Uhuru Kenyatta had extended the tenure of General Kibochi. So when he retired, William Ruto was confronted with the two realities. One, he had told Kenyans that General Ogola was not fit to become the CDF because he wanted to overturn the will of the people. The other hurdle that he was facing was the Tonje rule that had dictated that the CDF, the post of CDF, was to rotate among the three lines: the Kenya Navy, Kenya Army, and the Kenyan Air Force. And Uhuru had promoted a man from the Kenya Air Force because it was the turn of the Kenya Air Force wing of the military. So William Ruto was between a rock and a hard place. Those who were around William Samoei Ruto equally did not want General Ogolla to assume that position because they thought that being a Luo coming from Raila's backyard, they thought that the general would play politics and there was some aspects of insecurity to the people around William Samoei Ruto. And so after push and pull, and the military council had made it, categorically clear that they wanted General Ogolla, William Ruto had no choice but to give him that position. Now, it is being said that he reluctantly gave the general the title that was rightfully belonged to him, because that was the law that had been, since Tonje, the predecessors had followed that from the late Moi, late President Kibaki, and now the retired Uhuru Kenyatta. And so he knew he was going to be at loggerheads with the military if he was going to begin on a wrong foot. So he decided to give him. Now, later, people around William Ruto are saying that William Ruto was stunned that General Ogolla is a man who has got unmatched loyalty. Contrary to what they thought, that maybe because he's a Luo, he would not accord William Ruto the necessary support. People around William Ruto, people who are privy to the military, say that General Ogolla is a man who has got a lot of decorum, a lot of loyalty, being guided by the military policies. And this is something that has stunned William Samoei Ruto, and he even regrets going on public and saying that Ogolla wanted to overturn his victory. And they're saying that William Ruto was shocked that the general is a man who understands his duty. He knows very well that once someone comes to power, then you accord him the loyalty and support that is needed. And this has warmed William Ruto's heart. And people are around us saying that William Ruto is endearing himself to the general. Of course, you know that this was given to him because of his age. He will only serve for 1 year, so they did have a problem with it. William Ruto was also shocked that there is a kind of unity that within the military ranks, within the military council, so much deep that when he tried to look the other way, they told him this is the way to go. Of course, they will do it respectfully, but you will always know what they want. And he was shocked to realize that General Ogolla had the support of all the ranks of the military, including the person William Ruto wanted to give this position. Told him, let us give it to the general. Then he was the lieutenant general, I think. And so he was stunned by the kind of loyalty and support that the military gave him. And it's also being said that the general has got a lot of wisdom and the capability. The way he is running that position is running it so professionally that even those who, especially William Ruto, who had doubt in him, has got a lot of confidence. And this is the reason why there was a time when William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua were outside the country, and it was at the height of rampant military coups in West Africa, and many Kenyans were saying si huyu mtu apindue serikali. There was such kind of talks, but William Ruto was very confident because he knew very well that Ogolla general had demonstrated beyond reasonable doubt the quality of a leader that can run a country, or would be the country would be safe in his hands in the absence of the president and the deputy president. Now, on the same breath, the general exposed William Ruto, and very subconsciously William Ruto did not know that he was being exposed, but he can be forgiven because as a deputy president there are very many things that he did not know. You see, once you become a president, you will be sat down and you will be told things that even your deputy doesn't know. For example, I don't think William Ruto can now come very openly and start leaking military secrets. The idea that Ogolla wanted to subvert the will of the people is something that, as a senior, the number one senior citizen in the country, the president would have not come out with it to shout about it, because it is required of a leader of his stature to discuss that with a lot of undertones with the senior officials in the military, maybe to find out when Ogolla went to Bomas, because they had explained that as the military, as the security committee, they had realized that results were not trickling and Kenyans were beginning to get anxious. So they went to find out what exactly was happening. Even if William Ruto thought that such a thing was happening, or Chubukati had told him, he would have discussed that without coming out to malign the general, because this is something that is unprofessional. So people are saying that William Ruto exposed his, do I call it ignorance or just lack of knowledge? Because as a president today, if he cannot do that, he has been trained now. He's the head he's the commander-in-chief of all the armed forces, and he knows better. Back then he was fresh from being a deputy president, so he really exposed him. He also realized after that little controversy that the military have got their ways of doing things, that they don't play politics, because according to them, they thought that maybe tribal and political affiliations would infiltrate them. Even if it does, because they are also human beings, they would try as much as they can not to allow such attitude to direct them and control how to do their duties. And when William Ruto now got entrenched with the power, he realized that the military is a different city altogether. They don't play cheap politics. They don't rule on account of their tribal basis, that because you are Ogolla, now you have to serve a lower presidential aspirant. And with that, experts feel that he also exposed William Ruto, or William Ruto exposed himself. And William Ruto came to realize that the general is conducting his duties diligently with the support of all the other wings. And as we speak, William Ruto trusts General Ogolla so much that he cannot do without him. They have endeared themselves to each other, and now their relationship is a cordial one. It is not full of suspicion. You see, there was a lot of suspicion when William Ruto was getting in, Now they have rubbed shoulders and he has realized that the general is a loyal man. He performs his duties diligently. He's a man who is respected within the military ranks and the way they do their things. It's not like the politicians.